Welcome to Streaming News Network, where we deliver balanced reporting with the facts that matter. The Sunday Edition by J. Claude McDaniel. Please like and subscribe.
This is J. Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A legal controversy is unfolding after a federal judge in Florida referred an attorney representing President Donald Trump to the Florida bar and directed that her opinion be sent to disciplinary authorities reviewing complaints involving Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche and Associate Attorney General Stanley Woodward. The judge's decision followed a ruling involving a legal settlement that protected President Trump, members of his family, and affiliated businesses from certain federal tax audits and claims. The court concluded that the lawsuit was pursued in bad faith, leading to the referral of attorney Alejandro Brito for possible disciplinary action. The ruling has drawn criticism from legal experts across the political spectrum. Constitutional law professor Christian Lee Gonzalez Rivera, who describes himself as politically liberal, argued that attorneys should not face professional sanctions simply for presenting legal arguments that ultimately fail, particularly in cases involving unresolved legal questions. Other critics say allowing judges to routinely refer government attorneys for disciplinary review could discourage lawyers from serving in politically sensitive positions within the Department of Justice. Supporters of the referrals, however, maintain that attorneys remain accountable for meeting professional and ethical standards regardless of the clients they represent. The dispute is expected to continue through the appeals process, with legal observers watching closely for any guidance from higher courts on the limits of judicial authority and attorney discipline. This is J. Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A ruling by the Hawaii Supreme Court has ignited a national debate after one justice sharply criticized the United States Supreme Court while ordering a new trial in a decades-old criminal case. The case involved a man convicted in 1990 of kidnapping and sexually assaulting a woman on Maui. Hawaii's highest court ordered a new trial after determining that hair and fiber evidence presented by a Federal Bureau of Investigation expert relied on forensic methods that have since been discredited. Beyond the ruling itself, Justice Todd Edens devoted a significant portion of the 91-page opinion to criticizing the current United States Supreme Court. He argued that Hawaii's constitution provides broader protections than the federal constitution as interpreted by the nation's highest court and said state courts should rely on their own constitutional principles rather than recent federal precedent. Justice Edens cited several major Supreme Court decisions on issues including abortion, campaign finance, presidential immunity, voting districts, and gun rights as examples of what he described as a narrowing of constitutional protections. The opinion drew swift criticism from several legal scholars and attorneys, who called the language unusually political for a judicial opinion and questioned whether it reflected appropriate judicial restraint. Justice Edens has served on the Hawaii Supreme Court since 2020 after his appointment by then-Governor David Ige. This is J. Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. Actress Angelina Jolie is drawing widespread attention after discussing how the loss of her mother has shaped her approach to raising her 6 children. In a recent interview, Jolie said she tries to prepare her children for the possibility of living without her, explaining that her mother's death at the age of 56 made her view mortality as a reality rather than something to ignore. She added that her focus has been on helping her children become independent, rather than imagining her future as a grandmother. The comments quickly sparked debate across social media. Some users praised Jolie for encouraging resilience and preparing her family for life's uncertainties. Others questioned whether discussing death so openly with children could place an unnecessary emotional burden on them. Mental health experts have long noted that families process grief and discuss mortality in different ways, with no single approach considered appropriate for every household. The effectiveness of those conversations often depends on a child's age, emotional maturity, and the family's circumstances. Jolie, who shares 6 children with former husband Brad Pitt, has previously spoken publicly about the lasting impact her mother's death has had on her life and outlook. This is J. Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. A new survey examining attitudes toward political violence is drawing national attention after reporting that a portion of respondents viewed violence against prominent public figures as at least somewhat justifiable. According to research conducted by the Network Contagion Research Institute in partnership with Rutgers University, support for political violence varied by respondents' self-identified political views. Among respondents identifying as left of center, the survey found that 56% said the assassination of President Donald Trump was at least somewhat justified, while 50% expressed similar views regarding billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk. The survey has prompted renewed concerns about growing political polarization and the normalization of violent rhetoric in public discourse. Political commentator Joe Concha argued that such findings reflect an alarming trend and pointed to recent incidents of political violence, including the fatal shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk and public support expressed online for the suspect accused in the killing of a major health insurance executive. Concha also warned that social media can amplify political hostility and deepen divisions. Political violence has been widely condemned by leaders across the political spectrum, with officials from both major parties repeatedly stating that disagreements should be resolved through lawful debate and democratic processes rather than threats or violence. This is J. Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. Country music star Jelly Roll and media personality Bunnie Xo have officially finalized their divorce, bringing an end to nearly 10 years of marriage. According to court records, the settlement includes a confidentiality agreement covering most financial details. However, one provision has drawn particular attention: both parties agreed not to publicly criticize or speak negatively about one another. The agreement reportedly includes a one-time financial payment, along with the division of shared assets such as homes, vehicles, an aircraft, and intellectual property. The divorce was filed in Tennessee on the grounds of irreconcilable differences, with the couple listing their separation date as May 9, 2026. In previous public comments, Bunnie Xo said the separation was handled amicably and described the divorce process as unusually cooperative. She also stated that the couple's struggles with in vitro fertilization treatments placed significant emotional and physical strain on their relationship. Bunnie Xo has also publicly denied speculation that infidelity caused the breakup, saying neither party was unfaithful during the events leading to the divorce. She added that despite ending their marriage, they remain committed to continuing their family-building journey together. The former couple married in Las Vegas in 2016 following an on-stage proposal and would have celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary this August. This is J. Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network. Reports in celebrity media claim that Princess Eugenie is planning a private hospital birth for her third child and is limiting visitors in an effort to keep the occasion focused on her family. According to the reports, Eugenie and her husband, Jack Brooksbank, want a quiet and low-profile birth with as few distractions as possible. The reports also claim that this decision has created tension with her parents, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, over who will be present at the hospital. The articles further allege that Princess Eugenie's priority is privacy and allowing time for the family to bond with their newborn before receiving visitors. They also claim that Jack Brooksbank supports that approach. It is important to note that these reports rely on unnamed sources, and neither Buckingham Palace nor representatives for Princess Eugenie, Prince Andrew, Sarah Ferguson, or Jack Brooksbank have publicly confirmed the claims. As with many stories involving the royal family, official comment has been limited, and the reported details remain unverified. Streaming News Network will continue to follow any confirmed developments as they become available. This is J. Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A Florida man has been arrested after authorities say a 10-year-old boy ran from his home during an alleged domestic violence incident involving his mother's boyfriend. According to investigators, 45-year-old William Adam Lampkin was taken into custody in Broward County and faces charges including domestic assault, domestic battery, and resisting an officer with violence. Deputies say the child fled to a nearby neighborhood after allegedly hearing the suspect threaten to kill his mother during an argument that turned physical. The boy then contacted his father, who called emergency services. Investigators say the child's mother later told deputies the suspect had threatened her life and expressed fear that he would carry out those threats. Authorities also allege the suspect repeatedly contacted the woman while deputies were at the scene and returned to the residence, where he allegedly became confrontational with responding officers before being arrested. Following a medical evaluation, Lampkin was booked into the Broward County Jail. Court records show a judge set bond at $32,500. The allegations remain pending in court, and, as in all criminal cases, the defendant is presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. This is J. Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. 2 Philadelphia women have pleaded guilty in a federal case involving a multi-million-dollar Medicaid fraud scheme in Minnesota. Federal prosecutors say Candace Langley and Cynthia Allen admitted to conspiring to commit health care fraud after fraudulently obtaining approximately $3.4 million through Minnesota's Housing Stabilization Services program. The program was created to help vulnerable adults find and maintain stable housing. According to court documents, the women established companies in Minneapolis and submitted false claims using fabricated client records and inflated billings for services that prosecutors say were never properly provided. One individual whose name appeared in billing records told investigators he was living in a homeless shelter while claims were submitted on his behalf and said he received no meaningful assistance. Prosecutors say the case is part of a broader federal investigation into alleged fraud involving Minnesota's Housing Stabilization Services program. Several other defendants have also been charged, while one additional defendant in this case has pleaded not guilty and is awaiting trial. Sentencing dates for Langley and Allen have not yet been scheduled. According to court filings, each could face up to 56 months in federal prison. This is J. Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Celebrity media reports are claiming that Taylor Swift intentionally kept prominent political figures off the guest list for her reported wedding in an effort to keep the celebration free from political attention. According to the reports, Swift wanted the event to focus on her marriage rather than generate headlines about the political affiliations of those in attendance. The reports further claim that concerns about media coverage influenced decisions regarding the guest list. The same reports allege that former Vice President Kamala Harris was not invited and was disappointed by the decision. However, no public statement from Harris has confirmed those claims. Neither Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, nor their representatives have publicly commented on the reported guest list or the reasons behind any invitation decisions. The reports also rely on unnamed sources, and many of the details have not been independently verified. As of now, there has been no official confirmation from the individuals involved regarding the reported wedding arrangements or the alleged political considerations surrounding the event.
Thank you for listening to Streaming News Network videos and our audio reports. Please like and subscribe to our news channel.